Closed captioning for The Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we visit Home Brewers Day. The local chapter benefits Purple Cat. I also make my beer sauce mac and cheese. It's so easy. But first, every supply you need to brew beer at home is at the Pump House. Well, this is a visit that is long overdue. We are with Greg Wormley at the Pump House in downtown Struthers. Greg, I can't believe that this has been here for 22 years.
We've been here for 22 years. It was previously on before that.
Well, yes, but...
A little bit.
You know...
Not much more.
Everybody is right now, in the last 10 to 15 years, the craft beer explosion, right? And, but you have been making beer at home for what, 25 years?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
So really, you are like the grandfather, the godfather.
I feel old now.
Yes. Well, we won't have to say how old we are. But really, of home brewing, which really is, the gateway drug to craft brews.
Very much so.
Almost everybody I talk to, that has opened up our local craft breweries, all began as a home brewer.
Absolutely.
So they've all darkened the doorway here, many of them?
Quite a few, and some of them still come in when they do batches at home still, or need a little specialty something here and there. They always come see us still.
And what is your affection for the home brewing? What started you, in...
When I lived in California, I got more into import beers at that time because I had a lot of friends that I worked with that were from many different countries, and would try different things from them, different beers that they suggested. Got me off of the regular American domestic type beers, stuff with flavor, character to them. Then my neighbor next door, from where we were living in our apartments, was brewing one day, and I happened to see his door open. Said, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Brewing some beer. You want to help?" "Absolutely." So I went in, started brewing with them, and then it's been this ever since.
And it really doesn't take up much space. So what is that, a 5-gallon operation, basically? Is that it?
I got people that do 1 gallon up to 25 gallons at a time. I think it's the biggest batch that one of my customers makes. But it doesn't take much. I got people that make batches in their apartment, people that make batches in their garage, their basement, wherever. It doesn't take a lot of room. What was your very first that you made? Do you remember the very first beer that you brewed? I do. It was an Irish stout, and it was horrible because we didn't know anything about what we were doing. And luckily I was smart enough that, obviously there was a store in California that sold supplies. Yeah. So it was more to it than just what we were doing. So I went to the library, picked up a book called The Complete Joy of Homebrewing by Charlie Papazian, which is one of the godfathers of homebrewing. Read it from cover to cover and learned that you can actually make better quality stuff by putting more work into it. The next batch we made, awesome.
And was it hard to find, the grains, the hops? In California, I'm sure those were pretty readily available.
There was, but it was pretty limited back then. There wasn't as much available to homebrewers, much more to commercial breweries. Over the last 10 years, that has completely changed. We have everything that's available to all the craft brew houses everywhere around. We can get exactly the same product.
So this is a typical 5-gallon batch?
That is a typical 5-gallon batch.
And what have we here?
That is an English mild, a dark English mild, which is about a 3.5% alcohol beer, which would be a session beer. If you were in England somewhere sitting in a pub and you wanted to sit there all day, that would be one of their pints.
I like the sessionable ones. I don't like the ones that make you crazy.
That thing, even being low alcohol, it's got a ton of flavor. I take that style of beer to numerous events and try to educate people that never had that type of beer before.
Because they think because it's dark, it's heavy, and it's high in alcohol. And what about this one?
That is the part of the leftover batch that Ira gave us yesterday from their Petrushka. Instead of throwing the leftovers out, he had an extra when he was doing his runoff, and he was smart enough to call us and say, hey, would you want to do anything with this instead of dumping it down the drain?
I love that community.
So us being good friends, yes, we went and picked it up and fermenting it away.
And this is interesting. Now, you're going to bring this to the May 4th event,
Yes.
and this is the Pineapple IPA.
I made a version of that last year. It was just a pineapple pale ale.
Uh-huh.
So I beefed it up this year and added a bunch more hops that are more tropical, citrus, pineapple-y type flavors to them. And there'll be pineapple juice in it as well.
From start to finish. Okay, now you brewed this one. This is delicious. Now, look at this. This is made, it's a chocolate, or a coffee stout rather, made with moon pie coffee. And it really does have a delicious flavor. Now, how long does something like this take to brew?
That batch took about probably 3 to 4 weeks, start to finish. And then I kegged instead of bottling. So if you're bottling, it would take a little bit longer because you gotta let it carbonate in the bottles. But we artificially carbonate with CO2, so that speeds that process up.
Do you always have a large quantity of your brews at your home?
I don't have that much at home anymore because I don't have a beer fridge in the basement anymore. It has since died. But I do take growlers home from here all the time.
So you mainly keep them here now?
Everything ferments here, and then I store all the kegs here. It's just easier.
All right.
Just fill a growler, take it home, or take it to a party. Good to go.
Are you a beer snob?
I'm by no means a beer snob. No, like I was telling you guys earlier, I still drink Black Label, Hams, Strohs. I'll drink anything.
So you're not one of them like, oh, I will not drink the swill. I only drink the finest.
I will try anytime somebody comes up with something new or some brewery in the area comes out with something, I always try it, but there are styles that I prefer more than others.
Yeah, what would that be? Are you more IPA? Are you more stout? What do you really like?
I do get in the mood for an IPA every once in a while, but I'm more of a UK type brown ale, stout, porter, English mild.
When I want local flavor, I watch the Casey Malone Show.
I am here with Rudy the Dude from the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. And Rudy, you really take Eat, Drink, Celebrate seriously.
Yes, we do, Casey. Not only in our regular pub, but we have a banquet room, party room. We seat 25 to 150. We cater for private parties, meetings, banquets, showers, reunions, you name it, we can do it. We got you covered. Private menus, special menus, anything you need, Chef Reggie can work it out for you.
I just love the idea that you have the entire room, if you need it, and a private bar. In fact, my class reunion from the Academy is going to be held at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery.
And we thank you guys for coming. Like I said, it's our motto is Eat, Drink, Celebrate. We like to specialize and help you out and do everything we can to make your memories last long.
Stop by. They will prove it. Here's to the Magic Tree.
Salute.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for over 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may face. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court, and remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at elizabethbernardlaw.com.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service, independent insurance agency. We work with several insurance companies to offer you choices for your insurance needs. We'll find the right product at the right price. Personal, business, farm, life. Trust Mayflower Woolham. You focus on what's important, we'll take care of the details. Mayflower Woolham, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old Road Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
R&S Paint is a locally owned paint store and not a paint department. Inspiration comes easy when choosing exciting Benjamin Moore colors and finish. Over 3,400 vibrant and durable colors are yours at R&S Paint.
Hi, I'm Tim Crow, owner of Crow's Cabinets, and this is my dad Paul, who started the company over 40 years ago. At Crow's Cabinets, we build and install the perfect cabinets for your home or business. We design complete kitchens, bathrooms, garages, and more.
If you can dream it, we can build it.
Well, everybody loves macaroni and cheese. And usually it's quite an ordeal to make because you have to make the roux and then you have to melt it down and all the milk and all the, I mean, it's really quite a bit of work.
It was a whole day.
But it's worth it.
It is.
How about this recipe? I had you over for dinner the other night. Could you believe it? How good it was? And how easy it was. It is 5 or 6 ingredients. It is beer-based with cream cheese that adds your creaminess, and then a pound of sharp cheddar. And I've added, I of course always have to tweak things, and then I use a little cayenne and a little nutmeg for flavoring. Yeah. And it comes together as quickly as the noodles boil. And that's it. And you are going to love this. I got this from my friend, the beer drinker, Russell. And he's like, you aren't gonna believe how easy this is. And I just love it. And you know, I'll tell you, you start with beer as a base. I am using Harp because it's a lager, but also like a nice crisp IPA would work. I don't think a dark beer would work as well. But if you keep it on the light side, just use a beer that you would drink that is like a lager or an IPA, and this is the best recipe ever. So let's get started. I'll go over the ingredient list, and we are going to make my beer sauce, macaroni and cheese. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of a short-cut pasta, 12-ounce bottle of lager or IPA beer, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 1 pound of sharp cheddar cheese, freshly shredded, 1/8 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I've dropped the fusilli noodle because I think the little springs are nice. And over high heat, I am going to add my bottle of beer. There you go. And now I am also going to add the cream cheese. Now I am using full fat. I'm not going with the low fat cream cheese. You'll find that if you do, it's almost got a grittiness to it. It just doesn't melt down. So splurge on the calories, splurge on the good stuff. I'm going with the Philadelphia name brand. And all I'm gonna do is rub this around and break it up a little bit in the hot beer. And you're just gonna keep mixing it until it is smooth and it looks like a cream sauce. Now see how it's all smoothed out and it is all melted down, and it really just looks like warm milk. But you can see that it's bubbling on the edges. Keep it on high, and then now is a good time to add your nutmeg because you want it to blend in thoroughly, and your cayenne. If you're not a fan of any warmth, even though you really can't taste it, you don't have to add the cayenne. So now it's bubbling good. Where we're going to reduce the heat to medium. And now a little bit at a time, we'll start to add the shredded sharp cheddar. I recommend shredding it yourself. It's a higher quality cheese and it melts down much nicer. If you buy the pre-shreds, there's some chemicals in there to make sure they don't stick together and clump. So just make sure you shred the pound of cheese yourself. And just make sure it melts in before each addition, just because you want it to really be creamy and smooth. All right, so our cheese is bubbling nicely. It's come together. Look at how beautiful and smooth. Now I will just take my drained pasta, add it in, And you just stir this in, put your heat down low, and you see it looks a little thin, but let it cook on low for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and it will thicken up and come together. That is delicious.
It is.
Can you believe how easy that is?
Within a half hour, you have dinner.
Exactly, as long as it takes the noodles to cook. It is so easy, it comes together. Of course, if you'd like to broil it, I thought that crunchy pretzels on top would be a fun topping if you like a little crunch, since it is beer-based. Or you could use chopped bacon, you know, whatever you want.
That's right.
Seeds.
Seeds.
I like sunflower seeds. I like a little crunch. Potato chips, whatever you'd like. And of course, the perfect accompaniment might as well be a beer since it's in the recipe. Nice harp lager. Cuts right through.
Right through.
It's really good.
It's very, very, very good.
This is so easy and so delicious. Just go to my website. It's my beer sauce macaroni and cheese. You are going to love it. caseybeershow.com. See? Jelaine sold. Cheers.
Cheers. I am sold.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
At the Vein Center in Med Spa, we realize the serious health issue varicose veins can cause. We know it's more than just cosmetic. That's why we provide you with caring and personal service in a clean and friendly atmosphere. All vein procedures are done in our office during convenient and flexible hours by a medical doctor with over 20 years experience. The Vein Center in Med Spa also offers fillers and neurotoxin procedures, hydrofacials, and laser hair removal services. And now we're proud to welcome Dr. Kiesel to our practice. Call the Vein Center in Med Spa for a free consultation and see why our patients leave satisfied.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
There's a new standard in assisted living.
One that combines comfort, luxury, convenience, and the highest quality expert care.
Your loved ones can experience it now in Canfield's premier senior living location.
The Inn at Ironwood offers fine dining and amenities such as a concierge, salon, housekeeping, and laundry services.
And a truly elegant setting in Canfield.
Call us for more information or visit us and take a tour.
The Inn at Ironwood, Canfield's premier senior living location.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Selling engagement rings never gets old. It's love.
It's a huge on-taping because they're going to wear that ring probably forever, but if they're not going to wear it forever, they're going to pass it down to somebody.
Our rings will hold a lifetime, and we want to make sure it does. We stand by every single thing that we sell. I believe I can find the perfect ring. I really try to get them exactly what she would want.
And to just be a little part of that is really, it warms your heart inside.
Get real, get Kamara.
Hi, I'm Tim Crow, owner of Crow's Cabinets, and this is my dad Paul, who started the company over 40 years ago. At Crow's Cabinets, we build and install the perfect cabinets for your home or business. We design complete kitchens, bathrooms, garages, and more.
If you can dream it, we can build it.
Well, we all know that the first Saturday in May is Kentucky Derby Day, but it is also International Home Brewers Day. And the local home brewers get together the first Saturday of May out here at Farmer Casey's Ranch, owned by Purple Cat. And there are, as you can see, a ton of people here. They are brewing right now on premises and then sharing beers that they've made before. All the proceeds from this great home brewer event goes to the Purple Cat. There's music, there's items up for auction, and then you get the camaraderie and you learn some different brewing techniques. So we're gonna have a really good time today. Sean and Bill are home brewers, but they are about to open their own brewery up in Grove City. It'll be Big Rail Brewery. Now, where did the name come from?
I currently work for a local railroad, so it kind of came from that.
Well, that's good. There's not a lot of railroad beers. Right. And Sean, how long have you two been brewing together?
Oh, about 15 years, maybe more, somewhere in that ballpark.
And what made you decide to take the lead?
I guess it just kind of grew over time. We would eventually, we would do bigger and bigger batches, and then eventually we got to the opportunity to brew for a restaurant in Harmony, PA, the Harmony Inn. So we brewed house beers.
What are you and Christopher brewing here?
We are brewing a very special beer that we've been inspired by our little friend. There's a little friend over here. We have a black duck laying eggs as we sitting on eggs.
Sitting on the eggs and waiting to hatch them.
Yeah.
And she has like a lot of eggs under there. They said there's like 10 or 15.
There's at least a dozen. It's amazing. And if I were as chilled out as that duck, my stress levels aren't low enough. I got to be like the duck.
So the title of the beer that you're brewing here is?
We're going to call this Black Duck Brut IPA. It's going to be a real dry IPA with some very interesting hops, and we're going to use champagne yeast, which is going to dry it up a little bit, and it'll ferment out the sugar, so it'll be dry. It won't be sweet, but it'll be very floral and hoppy.
John O'Donnell is a very experienced brewer. You said almost 20 years.
19 years, April this year.
What made you start home brewing?
I like craft beer, but the price, it's cheaper to brew it yourself.
And I mean, how many, mistakes did you learn from?
Several. Several. You always got to make a mistake, but like you said, you learn and you move on.
You guys are the ones who really make the craft fine beers. And we'll call them what, Red House? But it's
Red House Loveless Lager.
Okay, this is Donnie Loveless, and then we have Cole. And how long have you guys been home brewers?
I just had my 40th anniversary of brewing beer. And Donnie, I taught, and he's been here 2 years doing it.
I'm learning from the apprentice. I am apprentice learning from the master.
Ron and John are also home brewers. How long have you two been brewing together?
About a year and a half.
What made you start doing it, Ron?
I started drinking the stouts and the porters. I liked them, and the cost. I just started wanting to brew my own beers and trying it.
And how was your very first brew experience? Was it successful, or was there an issue?
No, it was successful. It was a coffee stout, and it turned out good.
You are very familiar with Farmer Casey's Ranch. This has really grown, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me the difference from the beginning to now.
All right, a long, long time ago, this had little chickens and ducks and stuff. Now, look at it now. It is crowded with pigs, everything in there.
You've got the peacocks, the alpacas.
Yeah.
I've got Lonnie and Eric, who are both very well-known DJs from Golden String Radio. Now, Lonnie, when you're spinning, what is your favorite kind of music?
I play gospel music every Saturday morning on Golden String Radio.
Okay, so you got to listen for Lonnie. Now, Eric, what do you like to play when you're spinning?
Well, I love country music, and I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee with my father, and everything's cool.
You are going to Nashville?
Yep.
No way. You're going to go to the Country Music Hall of Fame?
Yes, I am.
You help everybody when they have trouble with their brewing, right?
Try to, yeah, absolutely. Anytime they have problems, or hopefully they don't have many problems, but I will guide them along.
Yes. So, Guru, how many years have we been having this event for our area home brewers?
It started out in 1999, really small, over in Brookfield when we had a shop there, with about 10 brewers, maybe at the most, that attended the whole thing. And now it's grown into this.
Well, Jimmy Sutman, you know my buddy, Isle, Purple Cat, and you guys are the beneficiary of the proceeds from this great event.
Yes, we are the beneficiaries. And every year it grows.
Crazy.
We hit our zenith a couple years ago. It was almost snowing out here, and everyone was like, oh gosh, it's going to be a terrible event. And it was our biggest ever. People were dying to get out here. The beer brings people despite the weather.
So now, the guys that are brewing on site, they give you the spent grains for the animals.
Yeah, it's super cool. We have pigs here, so the spent grains, the pigs will eat the spent grains. Our goats and our alpacas, they're a little more picky. But our composting program is something to be proud of. The spent grains are so valuable because they're steaming. I mean, they're steaming now. They just made beer, but they'll be steaming next Wednesday. And what that helps is it breaks down the compost.
Are you really drinking a PBR?
I'm a cheap date. I'm a PBR drinker, but everything is a step up from PBR. So all of this stuff is wonderful, and I will drink it.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.